William, congratulations.
Thanks very much.
I
Cheers.
am so excited to talk to you.
All right, and Alice is here as well.
Alice
Alice is the screenwriter.
This is one of my favorite films of last year. I fell in love with Lady Macbeth. And they couldn't set up an interview for us with the theatrical run for logistics. But I have to say, the sound design, the cinematography, the use of the perfect framing, the color, I mean, just brilliant. And your script, Alice, oh my God, blew me away. So I'm going to play catch up with you guys now about how you brought this film to life so that you end up here with a Spirit Award nomination. By the way, I'm a voting member of Film Independent and I voted for the film.
Good. Thank you very much. Oh, well, thanks. Great. Yeah, I mean, it's been a long journey, really. I mean, we started working on this. Alice brought me the book. She was a big fan of the original novella. And so we started to think about making it into a film in 2014. And here, now we are in 2018, so it's been a while. But, you know, I think we couldn't have done it really without the support of the British Film Institute and BBC Films and Creative England, who... you know, we had to apply for the money to make this film, but it was a long process. There were about 300 films applying, and then they whittled it down, and then they made 3 in the end. But the whole point of that process going through it was essentially to sort of help us develop the idea in a useful way, and to develop as filmmakers. And that's, you know, that's such a golden opportunity, really, to have that chance to develop a film in that way with that sort of support and without interference. You know, so it is actually an independent film.
Very much so. But how did you go about developing your visual tonal bandwidth to bring Alice's great script to life? Because the austerity with which you lens this and have crafted it visually is just a powerhouse when you look at the very specific elements that comprise.
Well, I think we have the same taste, it's fair to say.
Yeah.
I think it was absolutely on the page. I mean, anything that I did to sort of try and realize that visually, we started from that place. It didn't feel at odds with what was written. It felt like just an extension of what I could read. The place we found to shoot the film was pretty bare and empty and austere and cold. We wanted to create an aesthetic that reflected that. So the fact that they only had 1 or 2 costumes and the fact that the rooms were sparsely furnished worked. It wasn't a sort of limitation on our film. So yeah, and the color palette, that was something we discussed with Jacqueline, the designer, with Ari, our cinematographer. You know, we like the sort of cold blues and the daylight tones, and some paintings that we'd seen, some Danish artists from the period, from mid-19th century. So yeah, it sort of was built out of that, really.
Just brilliant. How difficult was it for you to do the adaptation in the first place?
I mean, it's always difficult, and I think that's a good sign. Like, if it's hard, it's probably something's happening. It felt like the main job with this was to create a really complicated character. In the book, she's quite straightforward. She's not given much of a psychology, and we were really interested in really developing that and making her feel like someone we hadn't seen on screen in that kind of period. So that felt like the main job. But I really loved it, so that helps as well.
I can tell you that is one of the most twisted characters I have seen on film in a long time, and I loved every second of it. So how exciting is it to now, after all your hard work, to be here on the beach in Santa Monica? The rain stopped just for you, obviously.
Yeah. We brought it in the first place, didn't we?
You brought it.
We're responsible for the rain. Yeah.
But to be nominated for Best International Film, I mean, this is...
I mean, we're going out on a high, I would say. This is our last engagement with Lady Macbeth, really. We've been with this film for a long time, and to be here in such a prestigious ceremony with these filmmakers, you know, like-minded folks, that people who are independent filmmakers. It's the best way to finish it all off. Really, it's huge.
So what's next for the two of you?
Well, we're going to make another film.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to begin that process. It's quite difficult to do it while you're on the road, do you know?
Yeah.
Other things get in the way, but now there's some time to think about ideas. So.
Congratulations again. Thank you, and enjoy. Have fun. You get alcohol, food, and cool stuff.
Yes, exactly. Lovely to meet you.
Thank you.